Welcome back to my garden, everyone, and it is late October and we're finally getting some beautiful fall colors. So I thought I would do a quick tour of some of the Japanese maples that are in fall colors, and I thought I would start with this beautiful one, and this is Gable's Glory. And I've done a cultivar highlight on this. If you watch some of my shorts, you'll see a lot of the details and stuff about Gable's Glory. But this one here is just a spectacular tree that changes colors throughout the whole year, and it's just putting on this beautiful display of like a pinky red, so different than a lot of the other reds this time of year. Most of them go to more like a crimson color. This one definitely stays more like this pinky red, and in this spot, and back up, this is a highlighter in my garden right now. The sun's peeking up in between some of the trees, but I'm just enjoying this beautiful pinky red fall color of Gable's Glory. So we're gonna continue on. This one's kind of in a unique spot. I have a trench I put in some frost-free hydrants earlier this year, so some of the dirt is settled. But as we kind of continue over here to this part of my garden, we got English lace that's looking amazing right now, and this is kind of an upright dissective leaf. Some people think it's more a Matsumura style, but it's definitely resembles kind of that lace leaf, dissective leaf that you see on a lot of other cultivars, kind of like Tamukiyama or Red Dragon or Crimson Queen. This one is definitely a little bit more upright than those. You still have to kind of stake it up to get it some height, and it's more, it's not really weeping. It's more, if you kind of look at the structure, the branches kind of go more out laterally and then kind of weep down. So it gives it a really open air feel, and I'm just enjoying this beautiful crimson on English lace. So back here was one of my favorite trees that I kind of highlighted a lot throughout this year, and this is sunny, and unfortunately we have a young buck that decided to rub on it and take out that whole leader. But luckily I still have this branch that's above the graft, and you can kind of see the red that it's going to here in the fall. So this one comes out orange and then turns yellow, and actually stays, for me, yellow almost all year, and then turns to this beautiful more red color here in the fall. But unfortunately the deer took out some of the leaders. Had a nice, here's like had a big leader on it that it probably took off a couple feet, but it'll continue to grow as we next year. So I'll probably just stick this branch up and make it become the new leader, and I'll come over here with some pruners and get all that off so it doesn't get infected. Over here, and this is a red linear lobum that's starting to put on that crimson color. Let's see, what is this one? Aka Hosiodora, I think it's how it's pronounced. This one here is a great red linear lobum. You can see some of it, it's going to turn to this beautiful crimson. Right now it's kind of in that maroon phase, but probably in the next couple days it's going to really put on that crimson red fall color. So just enjoying more of the strap leaf or linear lobum type leaf here on this tree. And this one here comes out red in the spring. It does green up for me in the summer, I think because I have it in a little bit too much shade, but as you can see, it turns kind of red back as the temperatures start to drop, and then puts on this beautiful crimson fall color that like I said, the whole tree will kind of be that in a few, probably the next couple days. I have a golden Duke's hemlock, that's going to turn more and more yellow as I get my shadow out of it as the winter kind of progresses, or as we progress into winter. Some camellias, rhododendron. Let's kind of get back over to some fall colors. So over here, this beautiful orangey red tree is Msum, I believe it's how it's pronounced. And this is a beautiful, let me not have my shadow in it, is a beautiful tree. I did there should be a cultivar highlight coming out on this one shortly, if it's not already out. And this one is just a spectacular tree. In the spring, it comes out like a red, and it kind of fades to a pink, and then eventually yellow. And usually it holds that yellow pretty well for me before kind of fading to a green, and then back to this orangey red color. So this is, like I said, a really great tree. This is Msum. A little bit harder to find sometimes, and then the trade, unfortunately, I don't know why, because it puts on an amazing color contrast throughout the whole year. And it's a smaller tree. I think it's like 5 to 7 feet tall in 10 years. So if you're looking for a tree that kind of stays on the smaller side, this is definitely one. I have a decent sized one. This one's probably about 3.5 feet tall. So it's definitely loving its spot. Right next to it, this is Bart's dwarf. This one here, as you can see, holds onto its red really well throughout the year. So it comes out red, kind of fades to that maroon, and then you can kind of see the crimson that's starting to peek into it for the fall color. So this one here, if you're looking for a red dwarf, it's a witch's broom. It does have that short knob. Let's see if I can find a leaf. That short middle knob on it that kind of shows it that's a witch's broom. If you're looking for a narrow witch's broom that's red and stays red, this is definitely one I would check out. Behind it is my Moonrise, and unfortunately I think the drought has caused most of the leaves just to drop instead of changing color this year, so it's kind of already looking bare. But you can kind of see some of the red fall colors that hopefully the rest of these leaves that are left will eventually turn into. But this one is a great Shurasawanum Moonrise, known for its yellow kind of fall color, kind of like autumn moon, but usually puts on a little bit more red color in the spring, versus autumn moon does a little bit more orangey in the spring, at least for me. And then Moonrise apparently is a little bit more sun tolerant than autumn moon. So if you're looking for a good Shurasawanum that changes colors throughout the whole year, Moonrise is a good choice. Next to it is Bronze Age, and this one is really looking on fire right now. You got those beautiful, this one was kind of weird because normally it's bright yellow, and I have a couple of yellow leaves more here on the back side, but this year it started coming out red, if we can get the focus on that leaf. And then it kind of changed to some of this orange, and then eventually yellow. But this one historically has a yellow fall color on it. But just enjoying the beautiful color here of Bronze Age on this really deeply divided Shurasawanum leaf, or full moon leaf. So it almost looks like a Matsumura Shurasawanum leaf. So very large, but very deeply divided. So definitely unique texture from your traditional Shurasawanums like Orion and Moonrise and Autumn Moon. So just something unique and a little bit different. And plus the color, like I said, typically goes bright yellow, but I'm kind of enjoying this orange. It mixed with yellow, and I have it planted next to my Moonrise, so not only does it provide a contrast in texture with the leaf difference, but also in the fall as it comes out more and more yellow and that one is typically is red. And also in the spring, it comes out with this bronzy color, as that one comes out with like that yellowy red. So just a really cool color contrast. So this is Shirasawanum Bronze Age. See it there. Right next to it is Matoy, and you can see just that, if I can get the focus, there we go, that beautiful red color there on Matoy. So this is one of those pinky red variegated trees, but it's weeping, so kind of like Lillian's Jewel or Geisha Gone Wild, kind of that pinky red contrast. But right now it's just in this beautiful bright red fall color. You can really see, I almost have to have my hand behind it for it to focus, that really deeply divided leaf there. So this one's doing great. Matoy here in the fall color. I had to move this one. I had it, I think, in a little bit too much sun and was burning, so I moved it to this spot late winter this year, and it's doing so much better. Okay, well, we don't have any, kind of back here, here's my firefly, kind of the same thing as the Moonrise. Here's the fall color here on firefly. Sometimes it's a little bit brighter red, but I think this one dried out a little bit too much, so it dropped a lot of its leaves already. But you can kind of see what the fall color typically is like. Like I said, usually it's a little bit more crimson here on firefly. In front of it, here is my lemon lime lace, and it's slowly starting to turn from the green to the beautiful yellow fall color. So this one probably in the next week or so should be, the focus should be, this thing should be bright yellow here in the landscape. Let's see, we'll kind of swing across the driveway. And this here is Behoo. And Behoo right now is a bright highlighter in my garden. As you can see, the beautiful yellow fall color against that yellow bark that Behoo's known for. There's still a little bit of hint of green in some of the leaves, but this tree is just looking spectacular right now. You can see those bright yellow. This is one of the most pure yellow fall colors that I have. There's a few other ones, like Sengukaku puts on a really good pure yellow, but this one here is just looking spectacular right now. And I have a decent size. It's still a little bit green near the top. Mine's probably about 6.5 feet tall. And kind of behind it, I talk about it sometimes in the videos, but since this is a little bit more long form, so I have a hydrangea, but I have my early wonder camellia, which is starting to bloom over there. I have it protected right now from the deer because they keep trying to eat all the buds. So I have a chicken wire cage around it. And then I also have this Japanese white pine here that puts on this beautiful blue fall color. So as these two things get bigger, this will provide a beautiful evergreen backdrop for the yellow bark to kind of pop against. I believe here, I should have showed you the tag of my, sorry for kind of going back and forth. This is I'm kind of see the tag right there. Well, this is a beautiful Japanese white pine and has that beautiful blue fall color kind of throughout the whole year. My Miss Sayordi, no, this one's LA Dreaming. Some of the deer have munched on the leaves, but it's still looking good and it'll come back strong next year. My Miss Sayordi's over here. Kind of in front of it is my Fire Glow, still having that beautiful red fall color, or beautiful red color. So if you're looking for a red that kind of holds this color throughout the year, this is definitely a good candidate. And eventually you can kind of start to see, maybe on this leaf right here, it will turn crimson red in a couple of weeks. But right now it's still kind of that late summer, early fall maroonish green color, but it does hold that color really well. So that's Fire Glow. I'm gonna swing back across the driveway and you can kind of see this bright red tree right here. And this is another coral bark, but this one is blanking on the name right now, Gold Digger. So you can see the beautiful red fall color here of Gold Digger, plus it kind of has more of that orangey style bark on it. And this one definitely it kind of has that orangey to yellow, and then kind of comes out to more of that red tips on it. And kind of like my other, or like Behoo and some of my other coral barks, I planted some evergreens behind it. So I have a Japanese plum yew there and another camellia over here. And so hopefully as those grow, they'll provide a beautiful backdrop for this bark to really pop against, so you can really see it. Plus I just have a natural holly forest, unfortunately, kind of behind me. So, but it does serve this purpose of really helping this bark pop in the winter. But just enjoying that beautiful red fall color here of Gold Digger. You can see some of the summer colors. It does green up and has these beautiful kind of green leaves most of the year, but definitely a four-season interest. As I kind of work my way down, my English lace is still kind of in that late summer color, kind of hasn't really put on the crimson red yet. There's an azalea right there. My ginkgo, this is American, it's starting to put on the yellow. This is the first year it's in the ground, and it's been really dry, so hopefully we get some beautiful yellow fall color out of it. But you can kind of see the yellow as it's slowly trying to turn to this beautiful yellow. So this is American, a dwarf ginkgo tree. Let's see. Now, my ever autumn, here we go. This is beautiful yellow. And this one here is such an amazing tree also. You can kind of see the fall color there on ever autumn. This one comes out kind of a red color in the spring, and then kind of fades to green, but this beautiful yellow fall color is just amazing right now. You can see this one's also been a little bit dry, but just enjoying this yellow with hints of orange and some red in it. So ever autumn will get big. It's palmatum, I think Circinabrum hybrid. But yep, ever autumn is definitely a wonderful tree. I would definitely recommend it if you can find it. Behind it I have one of my umbrella pines, and that will get very large over time, so it will provide a beautiful backdrop and texture to this over autumn. So the other unfortunate one that the deer got, so I put this cage around it. This is my Kristen Star, and you can see how the deer really rubbed on it, so I hope this branch survives. Luckily there is a small leaf down there that's above the graft, so if I have to, we'll see how this one does. We'll see if this branch survives or not. The other branch they completely rubbed off. There was like kind of a dual leader, so unfortunately they went after this one and my Sunny. So I might have to just pick up another Kristen Star at some point in time, because I don't know if how with all that bark being stripped off, if it's going to get diseased or not this winter. But there is technically that one leaf down there that's above the graft, so still a Kristen Star on it, but it's just going to take a long time to grow from that, as it's already a slow growing cultivar. But on to one that they did kind of the same thing to last year, and that's why I have a cage around it. This is my Indian Summer, and you can kind of see the different colors here on Indian Summer. That's known for, so big leaves, And you kind of got some yellows and some reds in this one. I want it to flip around. Let's see if I can. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can flip it back around. There we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I go straight down, it flips around on me thinking I'm trying to go upside down. But here's Indian Summer, a beautiful Japonicum. You can kind of see the branch right there where they rubbed on it last year and had to cut it. But luckily, like I said, there was enough branches above the graft that I still have the cultivar. And this one's fairly fast growing, so I'm not as worried about this one as I am about Kristen Star, where that one's a dwarf and grows really slowly. They also have eaten some of my leaves. This one's Fred. This is a tree I got from Elizabeth Mundy. So I got Ethel and Fred. She named them after I Love Lucy characters. Here's my Emmett's pumpkin. It's starting to fade. I did a cultivar highlight on it, and once again you can kind of see the deer rubbed up against this one as well and broke off some big branches. Luckily, I think this trunk is thick enough that it will be okay. But you can see some of the fall colors here on Emmett's pumpkin, getting ready for that bright orange fall color that it's known for. Let's see, we'll swing around. This one's kind of getting long. Most of these trees over here are still they're green or they're summer color, so we'll just kind of highlight some of the ones that are changing. Got a few more and then we'll end this video. So this here is Orion. You can see that beautiful yellow fall color on Orion. So this is one of those unique trees that comes out like a brick red and then has a yellow fall color, and it's a dwarf. So if you're looking for a tree that has beautiful red color but then a different color in the fall and stays small, so if you're looking for something maybe in front of your house, Orion might be a good choice. This one is more of a toadstool shape as it ages, so it gets like 4 feet tall, like 7 feet wide, and kind of looks like a toadstool. But the leaves are definitely on the smaller side, so enjoying that. And the leaves, like I said, come out the beautiful red in the spring and then changes to this beautiful yellow here in the fall. And then behind that, I have my Yamakage, another Japonicum, and you can just see the beautiful leaves here on Yamakage as they go into the yellow fall color. And I like how, like with the yellow, you can almost see the division in the leaves a lot easier than when they're green and a little bit younger. It's a little bit more of a full moon shape, but as the leaves ages, I think that yellow just kind of helps show those lobes of that full moon leaf a lot better. But this is a really fast growing Japonicum, and not as quickly as Emmett's pumpkin. I think that's probably one of the more faster growing Japonicums, at least that I have. But just enjoying this beautiful yellow fall color here, a Yamakage. And then we'll kind of work our way up. I think I got one more or a couple more I want to highlight. Here's my Ethel, still looking green. Probably you can see starting to put on some fall color, so it won't be long now before it puts on its beautiful fall display. My Hoshiadori still have its beautiful variegation here even late into October, and this one will turn yellow here probably pretty soon. Working my way back up. Let's see if we can get that tree right here. This tree right here is hot blonde, and you can see it's starting to put on its fall color. And this one, for me, as you can see, kind of goes pink before it goes to like a really bright, pure red. And so this is actually one of the best I think red's out there. So not only do you get a yellow tree that holds that yellow really well throughout the whole year, then it turns to this beautiful red, or pink then red, fall color. So the red, I think, rivals, and I think other people agree with me too, rivals Osakazuki. So if you really like the red of Osakazuki, hot blonde, instead of having a green tree most of the year like Osakazuki, you get the beautiful yellows throughout the year, and more of that leaf shape that's known for the, what is this? This is a oliveranum, so it has more of that oliveranum leaf shape, but definitely has that palmatum influence on it. So, and the last tree I want to highlight is right behind it, because I think most of the other ones are still kind of their summer colors. Is this here is another Japonicum, but this is Fairy Lights, and Fairy Lights is a very deeply divided, almost lace leaf style Japonicum. So very, very divided leaf, even more so than like Mekujaku, which has more like long lobes. But you can kind of see some of the color changes just right here. It starts off green, kind of goes yellow and orange, and eventually fades to this beautiful red. So you can kind of see right there all the beautiful fall colors that Fairy Lights puts on. So this is a slow growing dwarf Japonicum. So if you're looking for something in a container or in the landscape like me, this is definitely one. I have a cage around it to kind of protect this one from the deer and the rabbits and the squirrels that are trying to chew on the bark. But right now, just kind of enjoying this beautiful fall color here of the Fairy Lights. So I hope you've enjoyed this garden tour of some of the trees I have right now in fall color. I'm sure over the next even couple days, we've had a few nights now into the mid to low 30s, so it won't be long before the palmatums really start to change now that we're actually getting more consistently cool colors. But until then, thank you so much for joining me on this tour. Hope you guys have a great day. See you next time.